From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Call it deja vu? UNC basketball finds itself needing a big win against Duke in the regular season finale to sneak its way into the big dance yet again. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Joshua Dolgoff.
And I'm Isabella Geskos. But before we get started, Joshua, are you even surprised?
Not at all with what we've seen these past 2 years, but you gotta love a high-pressured rivalry matchup with everything on the line.
That line, however, has not flatlined yet. The next chapter in the Tobacco Road rivalry takes place tomorrow in Chapel Hill. With the Tar Heels on the bubble, this game could determine whether UNC reaches the big dance. The up-and-down season for the Tar Heels has been characterized by poor shooting performances. The Heels' three-point percentage is down 5 points from last season, but they've begun to turn it around, sparked by the resurgence of Pete Nance. UNC has won its past 3 games, including its first Quad 1 win against Virginia. The Blue Devils have had a comparably rocky season in Jon Scheyer's first year as head coach, but are currently riding a 5-game win streak and are firmly a tournament team. They've struggled on the road, though, holding a 3-6 record in away games. If UNC can pull off the win on Saturday, its path to the madness becomes a lot clearer entering ACC tournament play. On Saturday, we'll be entering the new era of the rivalry, as Jon Scheyer will take his 8-mile trip down the road for his first game as Duke's new head coach against the Tar Heels in the Dean Dome. The UNC-Duke rivalry has been one of the greatest of all time. On January 24th, 1920, the two teams squared off for the first time. The Tar Heels secured a victory 38-25, and the competition has been fierce ever since. Dean Smith retired, holding the most wins as head coach, but Duke's Mike Krzyzewski one-up Smith and took the lead for most wins in 2010. Roy Williams continued the legacy of competition and led the Heels to 3 national titles. Last season, under the Tar Heels, head coach Hubert Davis ended Duke's season and Coach K's career with not 1, but 2 losses. Saturday night, the dust will settle and one team will claim Tobacco Road, and the new era of the rivalry will be well underway. Let's now go to men's basketball analyst Landon Elliott. Landon?
It's Duke and Carolina week, and there's nothing I would enjoy more than running to Franklin Street tomorrow. It's a win-win situation for Carolina basketball and my cardio. In their first matchup of the season against Duke, the hair-splitting Heels had plenty of chances to take the lead and win the game. But ladies, you can forget the Pelotons and ellipticals because we're rushing after this game. I'm going to show you actually how Carolina basketball will get it done. In fact, we only need to break down the last 2 minutes of the previous game to see how Carolina can beat the Blue Devils. 2 things the Heels need to do to win this game: preventing offensive rebounds and make the shots you need to make. Armando plays great defense on this play against Kyle Filipowski. Filipowski puts the shot up, but what does Leaky Black not do on this play? He doesn't box out Derek Lively. Lively's going to get the easy offensive rebound and pass it back out to Jeremy Roach. Roach is going to take his time. And then right on this play, Roach is going to pass, or he's going to shoot the ball up. Lively's going to get another offensive rebound because no one boxes him out. And that's just too easy for that Duke team right there. And the worst part about this play, Mr. Seattle, Paulo Banchero, and Wendell Carter are celebrating. Paulo's yelling at Duke's defense to get back because he remembers that big L he took in the Final Four. With 49 seconds in the game, Duke has Caden Proctor passing out to Filipowski. Filipowski drives, has a nice spin move, puts the shot up. And what does Pete Nance not do? He does not box out on this play. Filipowski gets the easy rebound, and Pete Nance just jumps for the ball. He doesn't box out, and that's another extra possession for the Duke offense. This is a pivotal point in the game, and which allowed Duke to run down the clock to give Carolina less chances to put up a shot. Another struggle for this UNC team has been the offense. So right here, we're going to see Armando. Armando passed out to Pete Nance, and Pete Nance did not make this shot. And when they needed it the most, Pete Nance didn't make it in crunch time. Pete Nance went 1 of 10 from the field and had just 2 points in this previous matchup. So on this next play, we're going to also see Leaky Black. He's going to be down here in the corner. He's going to kind of scream to the other side of the court in the corner, and he's going to be wide open for a shot. Leaky went 3 for 3 in this game on 3-pointers, but on this play, he just doesn't make it when the Heels need it the most. But no worries, UNC fans. We have lemon Oreos, so I expect Pete and Leaky to play well. Filipowski gets the rebound, back out to Jeremy Roach. Down the stretch, the Heels need to make open shots. The only team in the ACC that can win with 57 points is Virginia. But UNC can't expect to score 57 points if they want to win this game with their up-tempo play style. Bella?
It's going to be a tense night in the Smith Center, Landon. What can we expect from our Outer Banks character, Armando?
Money on the rebounds, money on the points, and money for the win. Bella?
Thanks, Landon.
Let's go to the women's side as Coach Banghart and company travel to Greensboro to face the Clemson Tigers in the second round of the women's basketball ACC tournament. Eva Hodgson's confidence to shoot the ball stood out against the Tigers, scoring 3 back-to-back threes for the Tar Heels in the first quarter. Alyssa Usby's speed and size makes it difficult to guard her when she gets the ball. With this being only her third game back from injury, she led the Heels with 15 points. Destiny Adams has stepped up for the Heels as well. Her tenacity on the court has helped her improve inside the paint to get to the basket and create depth for Carolina. With the women's team now playing Duke today after the 68-58 defeat of the Tigers, this is the weekend of the best rivalry in college sports.
Oh yeah, it's important for us as a team to find Eva on the floor, to get her open shots and get her easier shots, especially when they're playing zone. And that was really our emphasis in practice and prep. So I think I found her on the first one. There you go. So I got excited when I saw the ball go in the basket for her.
42 points in the first half for UNC, all because of good shooting. Let's go to basketball analyst Jay Banzette to see how the Tar Heels shot their way into the next round. Jay?
You're right on the money, Joshua. The Carolina women's basketball team got this weekend started off on the right foot last night, and they did it with a lot of help from the three-point line. Let's take a look at how they did it. So Clemson's playing a zone defense. You beat a zone by flooding one side of the court. So right now we've got a 3-on-2 with this weak side defender. Deja can fill the lane and get a man advantage for Carolina. They're going to move the ball to the near side, the bottom side of the screen. Alyssa Usby has the ball here. We're going to occupy this defender again. This defender is really caught in no man's land right here. They're pretty much matched up evenly, except this defender would hopefully have Deja, but we're trying to overload so it works to Carolina advantage. We're going to move the ball. Alyssa Usby is able to get pretty much uncontested to the middle of the lane, and then this is where Clemson just gets into real trouble. This defender really hasn't moved. Deja's come out. Kennedy Todd Williams is crashing, and this passing lane right here is going to be wide open for Usby to hit Deja in the corner for a pretty late contested three, but still easy enough for her to make. That's money in the bank. Destiny Adams is going to collect this offensive rebound, and as we've talked about on this show all semester, the best time to shoot a three is off an offensive rebound because you've got 4 Tigers guarding 2 Tar Heels and then one pretty clueless defender sitting at the elbow staring at the ball instead of getting out to Eva Hodgson at the bottom of your screen right here. So this is about as easy as it's going to get. Destiny's going to kick it out to Eva Hodgson. Carolina's best three-point shooter. You can probably guess the result. This is money in the bank. And then so one third clip in transition. Those two are off settled. This is a transition play. Deja's going to get again to the middle of the floor. Beats the Clemson zone down the floor. You've got one Tar Heel here, one closing for a potential three, and one Clemson defender with Kennedy Todd Williams in the corner. So we're going to move the ball, create an advantage here. This Tiger jumps up with this Tiger. You know the deal. This one's wide open in the corner. We're going to kick it there for a wide open Kennedy Todd Williams three. Late contest from that defender who came up from the short corner, but it doesn't matter. Kennedy Todd Williams will knock that down, and Carolina's going to get the double-digit victory. Carolina made 8 threes last night, including 4 early in the game, and they'll look to keep those hot hands warm against, of course, Duke, because everybody plays Duke this weekend, tonight at 6. And, Josh, they're going to play. The men are going to play. We have the potential to have a really, really successful weekend against Duke in basketball this weekend.
Jay, look for Hodgson and the Heels to continue their hot shooting to take down Duke for the 3rd time this season. Thanks, Jay.
Mi Pueblo is the largest Latinx organization at UNC, and they hosted a small basketball tournament this weekend. Samantha Marlez was there.
Mi Gente from Duke University and Mi Familia from NC State took a visit to UNC's campus to get a little warm-up for March Madness.
Essentially, what binds us together is our culture and our music. So, yes, we have that competitive aspect, which is kind of enhanced through the professional athletes right now playing basketball. But we're here with our culture, enjoying ourselves as Latinos through basketball.
Mi Pueblo enforces all of the Latinos on campus to come together, meet new people, and build communities.
And I think as a minority at UNC, I think it's very important to find your people, your community, surrounding your people with people like you, I think. And I think Mi Pueblo really offers that and gives them the space and the environment to feel safe and that they can talk to someone who can relate to their backgrounds.
This isn't the first time these organizations have come together.
So this is actually our second collaboration with Mi Gente and Mi Familia with an event like this. Last semester, we actually had a really good bubble soccer event. And so in the future, we're thinking of either repeating these events or going into other sports. Personally, I would love to do volleyball.
What binds us together is more important than what separates us, even when the other students are from State and Duke. I'm Samantha Marlis reporting.
It's rivalry week, and not just for basketball. Later today, women's lacrosse will be hosting Boston College for a rematch of the national championship game last spring. Head coach Jenny Levy is one win away from reaching the 400 victory milestone, and the only thing standing in her way is the Eagles. UNC has gone 6-4 in their past 10 matchups, with the Tar Heels winning the most recent 3 last season. BC is playing with a chip on its shoulder since the national championship, so the Tar Heels will need to bring their A game if they want to pull out a win. The Tar Heels defense will look to tranquilize BC's strong offensive unit, led by Belle Smith, Jen Medjid, and Kayla Martello. UNC will also look to keep up its scoring prowess as Caitlin Wurzberger is coming off the heels of scoring a hat trick in her most recent game. This top 5 matchup is one you'll not want to miss. With more about this national championship rematch, here's women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa. Caroline.
Joshua, the rivalry is finally here, and Boston College is looking to avenge the national championship the Eagles lost last year. When UNC and BC played last season in the finals, Tar Heel goalie Taylor Marino was the star of the show. She stopped 6 of Charlotte North's 10 shots and made 11 total saves. She was BC's biggest nemesis, but she has graduated. With her gone, the team effort will need to continue. BC has only 9 goal scorers to Carolina's 14 different players who found the back of the net this season. Earlier this season, Northwestern, a fantastic team, upset the Eagles by shooting quick shots off of strong passes. Watch right here. Wildcat Madison Taylor was able to find the open space in the middle of the arc, where she had a 1-second cradle and led to a goal to keep Northwestern in the game against BC. Fast pace is what UNC likes to play at, and Caitlin Wurzberger and Riley Casey will need to communicate to find each other open quickly if they want to lead early in this game. Who the Tar Heels really need to watch out for is BC's Kayla Martello. She's the epitome of clutch and gave the Eagles a lead in the 4th quarter in the championship game last year. She's one of the fastest players on their team, and Emily Knowles is going to have to guard her intensely. If I were Coach Levy at times, I'd have her double teamed, and this is where the miscommunication happened. Most of Martello's goals this season are from assists from Courtney Weeks, but she is also known for constructing plays by herself. As I said, her speed makes her a huge threat. So on this play, watch Martello right here, and we got Emily Knowles on her. She is going to move past Knowles. She's too fast right here. And Julia Dorsey doesn't know that Gabby Hall is on Caitlin Mossman, but she hesitates to try to stop, but doesn't. There's a huge miscommunication between the two. Julia Dorsey should have come out to help Emily Knowles, but there's not. And then a goal from Martello to keep BC in the game. Communication and speed will stop Martello, and that's what the Heels need to do. Joshua?
Caroline, obviously no Charlotte North or BC, thankfully. But UNC lost a lot of experience as well. Jamie Ortega, Sam Geiersbach. Caroline, what do you think UNC will need to focus on? Because last time UNC and BC played, the graduates scored a combined 7 of the 12 goals.
Well, Joshua, team effort, and as always, freshmen stepping up will be huge. BC is the 4th game of the season, so the new Tar Heels are used to the way that Carolina plays, the fast pace, and I'm definitely expecting Marissa White to continue to play well and score a bunch of goals off the Eagles.
Not to pull out a Drake reference or anything, but do your thing, 21. Thanks, Caroline.
On Saturday, the men's lacrosse team will be back at Dorrance Field for the first time since their season opener to take on the University of Denver. The Heels are coming off a strong road showing at Syracuse, where they beat the Orange 19-13 with a Logan McGovern 8-point game. The Pioneers are also coming off a huge win against Merrimack, but their overall record sits at 2-2. The biggest thing the Tar Heels will need to do if they want to start their morning off with the win is the faceoff X. Denver currently wins 65% of its draws, considerably more than Carolina's 55%. To win games, you need the ball, and to get the ball, you need to win the faceoffs. Denver's legendary head coach Bill Tierney is retiring after this season, so we'll see if Carolina can take down the Pioneers in their final showdown against him. To tell us more, here's men's lacrosse analyst Lee Jeffries. Lee?
Bella, one thing's for sure. The men's lacrosse game versus Denver is going to be a great matchup. Last year, when the Pioneers and the Tar Heels faced off, the game came down to the wire. Last year, Chris Gray came in clutch with 6 goals, but he graduated. So this time, it will be all eyes on Logan McGovern to lead the Heels to victory. Since it's his first time playing in Carolina Blue, playing Denver, he needs to not be afraid to be aggressive and shoot from all angles. Let's watch this goal Logan McGovern scored against Syracuse. We can see McGovern isolating himself on the side of the field. He slips behind his defender, and then he's going to get the ball and shoot it in nearly adjacent to the goal. He's not afraid to shoot from any angle, which will make him a huge threat in tomorrow's game. Now, let's watch this clip of Chris Gray from last year. Gray comes from behind the goal, curling in between a Denver defender and their goalie to take a shot. Once again, Gray is aggressive and confident in his ability to shoot from any angle, and that's a similarity we can see a lot in Logan McGovern. To break into the top 10, the men's lacrosse team will need to secure a win and hand Denver its 3rd loss of the year. Bella?
Lee crushing it as always. Thanks.
On Wednesday, the Diamond Heels hosted VCU for the second of 2 midweek games. Carolina had some difficulty fielding, racking up 4 errors, the most for the team this season. But while that was happening on defense, the Heels were also matching a season record at the plate, getting 15 hits, including 6 for extra bases. 2 of them being home runs from junior transfer Jackson Vandenbrake, who was responsible for 5 scores on the evening. Carolina has hit 3 or more home runs in 4 of the past 5 games and each of the past 3. UNC secures the sweep against the Rams, 14-10. Coming off of midweek thrashing of VCU that saw its lineup explode for 24 runs in 2 games, UNC baseball will host a 3-game series against Stony Brook in Chapel Hill. The Sea Wolves are winless on the season, giving up an average of 12.5 runs per game with no pitcher recording an ERA below 6. Carolina's lineup has posed a threat 1 through 9 in recent games as every batter recorded a hit against VCU on Wednesday. With a surging offense, the Heels look to keep sending souvenirs over the outfield wall against a struggling pitching staff. Today's game has been moved up 90 minutes to 2:30 this afternoon due to inclement weather.
On Wednesday, the softball Heels traveled to Columbia to face the South Carolina Gamecocks. The Gamecocks' bats were hot, scoring 9 on 11 hits. The Heels failed to keep up and lost 9-1. The softball team returns to Chapel Hill, though, for the Carolina Classic this weekend. The Tar Heels have dropped 8 of their past 10 games, and the competition doesn't get any easier. They'll play 4 games against Purdue and James Madison, which have a combined record of 16-8. After a dominant start to the season, the rotation has plagued UNC throughout the stretch, giving up more than 4 runs per game. With ACC play approaching next weekend, these games are crucial if the Tar Heels want to turn around their season.
Talia Della Peruta and Avery Patterson capped off an incredible season in December and now have been named to the U.S. Under-23 Women's National Team. The UNC juniors will play in the Thorns preseason tournament against 3 national women's teams. Della Peruta was part of the 2022 Under-20 Women's World Cup team, and Patterson competed for Team USA in the Under-20 World Championships during the same year.
The women's tennis team returns after 4 weeks on the road this Friday and Sunday. The number 1 ranked undefeated Heels return to the Cone Kenfield Tennis Center, now the 4-time reigning national ITA indoor champions. This weekend is the team's ACC home opener against Louisville and the number 14 ranked Notre Dame. Fiona Crawley and Carson Tangleague and the rest of the team dominated in their regular season faction. This should be a great return to Chapel Hill.
The women's tennis players aren't the only ones back on the courts this weekend. UNC men's tennis travels to face Notre Dame today and Louisville on Sunday. The 10th-ranked Heels are returning to the court after a smashing win against Boston College on Sunday. Although the Heels started the matches without Ryan Segerman, the team's number 2 singles player and part of the number 1 doubles duo, UNC still dominated. The Heels claimed the 6-1 win and look to continue to have stellar performances by graduate student Brian Cernock in order to come away with 2 road wins this weekend.
Coming off a season sweep as the EAGL undefeated season champions, the Gym Heels will be back in Carmichael Arena for the senior night against Air Force. Lali Dekanoidze is coming into the meet ranked 8th nationally on bars with an average score of 9.945. Louisiana Lightning Julia Noer is looking to add to her all-around titles for the season after scoring a 39.275. Freshman Kaya Forbes is a force to be reckoned with, performing a Yurchenko 1.5 on vault, scoring a 9.875 in the most recent meet.
Last semester, we pitted one of our Sports Extra anchors against a D1 athlete. Wonder who that was, because it did not go so well. This semester, instead, we pitted two of our directors against each other in a game of bowling. Reporter Aman Patel has the story.
Daniel Masterson and Kyle Lobenhofer are two of the directors for this semester's Sports Extra show. The two share another class here together on campus, Creative Sports Writing. And when Professor Tim Crothers took the class out to the Mardi Gras Bowling Center, it was game on.
And when he got put in my lane, just because I'm like, oh, sweet, I've got a friend who I can kind of compare notes with for our stories and also just have a good time with.
The two were locked into a tight battle heading into the final frame, with Masterson having a slight lead of 101 to 94. Everyone stopped and gathered around to see this final frame.
The first thought was absolute terror. I do not like pressure, to say the least. So a little bit of the anxiety was kicking in, especially considering I was first in the frame, so I had to go first.
Daniel stepped up and delivered this strike.
Great. That was by far my best roll of the day. Like it left the hand, and I think I might have turned around a little early because I just knew it was like a Steph Curry 3. Like I turned around, I felt it in my soul.
After following it up with a 9-1 spare combo, Masterson separated himself, and Lobenhofer would need 3 strikes to win. After Kyle rolled an 8, Masterson had some words for Lobenhofer.
So what you want to do, right, is you want to hit one pin so that I know what I want to do.
Basically needed to be perfect, and I have never in my life been a perfect bowler or anything resembling it.
The mind games worked, as Lobenhofer threw a gutter ball, giving Masterson a 121 to 102 win. Masterson not only won bragging rights, but a bet made in the 5th frame blew up in Lobenhofer's face.
He told me in like the 4th or 5th frame that he was gonna have me buy him cookout if he beat me, and I said, I don't know about that, but now that I win, I think I'll take him up on that offer.
A friendly competition led to some trash talk and a meal on Lobenhofer. I'm Aman Patel, reporting.
We're going to spare you some time, make this outro quick. Bella, give us your outlook on the game this weekend.
Let's hope Duke throws a gutter ball in the Dean Dome while UNC looks to split the season series against Duke.
3 bowling jokes in a row? Call that a turkey. We are on the money today, and that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Extra. We'll see you on Monday with all the highlights from another exciting weekend of Carolina athletics.